move the Seminole Airport Authority meeting to after our city council meeting, since we have an executive session. So with that, we'll call to order the Seminole Gas Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
John Kramer.
Here.
Tim Hoffman.
Here.
Dee Patterson.
Here.
Bill Watland.
Here.
Corey Crabtree. Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move its approval. Second.
Roll call, please.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Tim Hoffman.
Yes.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Seminole Gas Authority? Okay, with none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move on to the Seminole Utilities Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Patterson.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Bill Watland.
Here.
Corey Crabtree. Tim Hoffman.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert. Larry Church.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move it approval. Second.
Roll call, please.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Tim Hoffman.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Seminole Utilities Authority? Okay, with none, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move it. Second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. We'll call to order the Seminole City Council meeting. Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Anson. Here. Dee Patterson.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Tim Hoffman.
Here.
Bill Watland.
Here.
Corey Crabtree.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sagada misi mishka hangi yudai kasakan kuchiri medo mom potolofa Seminole mom poestio molden itinoki chukidis mom chimi sagada misi anagiskas. For God, whose mercies cannot be numbered, accept our prayer of thanks for the city of Seminole and for all our people. Let us love one another for you, God, our love. Amen.
Amen.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move its approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Hoffman.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We have no items that have been removed from the consent agenda. Under election and appointments, there is no action that needs to be taken. That is not an appointment of mine. That is appointed by Seminole Industrial Foundation. And so this is just here for informational purposes. Zachary Northrop has joined the Seminole Economic Development Council. Do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience? Okay, we'll move on to approvals and acceptances. Bids. Number one, consideration and possible action to approve the low bid of $41,456 from A1 Fence for the installation of a wrought iron fence on the west side of Maple Grove Cemetery.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jim.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Hoffman.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Ordinances. Item 2, consideration and possible action to approve ordinance number 1234, an ordinance amending the mobile vendor codes to include Bourne and Broadway as off limits for mobile vendors.
All of Bourne? Or just that area?
It's the entire road named Bourne, yes.
Okay.
So why are we amending what we currently have to include those?
So the current ordinance talks about along state highways must set back more than 300 feet along state highways. So what we're doing is in preparation for us taking the road back and making it a city street, we are actually naming streets rather than just blanket state highways. Obviously, Bourne will no longer be a state highway.
It's not really changing anything other than the name.
No, sir.
Move its approval.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolutions, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2019-09, a resolution for electing officers, setting the filing period, and designating the election dates.
That's the same old, same old?
And that election date is February next year.
Next
right. And I know, but after last year's debacle and criticism.
You want to answer that?
Actually, the resolution that was passed previously and the ordinance, everything is, it lines up with the state law. It was done properly when we checked with the state election board, actually the county election board. So what's been done is where we keep it, and to be honest with you, to say March or April, I get the two confused and I can't tell you which one it is.
February.
February.
Well,
Some
I'm
say
talking
March.
about the final one, but February for the,
The runoff.
Right off the end.
Motion to approve, is there a seminary to do that?
No.
No.
Oh,
We're still
motion
in.
to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
yes,
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, could I answer?
Yes.
Okay. The hard answer in your resolution is we're looking at February 11th of 2020 as the primary, and the runoff election, if needed, shall be Tuesday, April 7th, 2020.
Item 4, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2019-10, a resolution authorizing OMAG to distribute escrow account funds of $77,060.89. And this will be put back toward our costs, or is that yet to be decided? We're just wanting them to go ahead and get that back to us.
We're just asking for the distribution at this
Right.
point.
They were hoping to ask what we were gonna do. He already has been.
Jay hasn't looked in his eye.
Goes into Jay's slush fund that nobody knows where it is but Jay, and then he magically finds it when we're in a real pickle. That's facetious, of course. We've got targets for it. More than likely, we're gonna put it against the premium as it comes in, so.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 5, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2019-11, a resolution dedicating fees collected in association with long-term camping to a fund for providing improvements to Sportsman's Lake facilities in addition to currently budgeted lake funds.
Haven't we always done that?
Yes,
I thought we had done that once before.
you are correct. Well, more than once. We've done it for 4 years, I think, is about the right number of years. We just approve it every year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Current business. Item 6, consideration and possible action regarding an offer from Kevin Roberts Fields to purchase surplus city property located at Lot 3, Block 5, Foster Smith subdivision.
Well, that narrows it right down.
What all's involved in that?
I know right where it's at, yeah.
Is that just land?
It's just flooded water tower.
So, this is over by the water tower, and he's been mowing it for years, and we wanted to continue that way. He's got an issue with people trespassing from the neighborhood behind him to get over onto Boren, and apparently this is going to solve that problem. He's gonna be able to fence it and get it finished. So, it needs to happen. He's taken care of it for a lot of years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Popham,
Yes.
Bill Waltman,
Yes.
Roy Crabtree,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 7, consideration and possible action to approve the City of Seminole's employees' Christmas party to be held at the Reynolds Wellness Center at noon on Friday, December 13th, at a cost not to exceed $2,500.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Popham,
Yes.
Roy Crabtree,
Yes.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Bill Waltman. Motion passes.
Reports. We'll lead off with our city manager.
Somebody's phone.
Sounds like popcorn.
It's somebody's phone.
Somebody's phone.
It's a cell
Is that what
phone.
it is?
It's a cell
Speaker?
phone.
Okay. All right.
All
I'm gonna run through this as quick as I can. The Standard & Poor's Rating Service Jay and I have been responding to them back and forth. We're still working through that, but I think we've got all their questions answered. It takes forever. You'll recall that these are the folks that give us ratings on our bond rating, whether we're BBB or C- or whatever bond rating they give us. It really influences what our debt load looks like going forward. So hopefully we've got all the questions answered positively, and I think we've given them a pretty good level of comfort in what we're going forward with. I want to encourage everyone to get with Mark Childress to adopt one of the trees around the Snowman Wonderland. The families are now open to begin adopting the trees around the Snowman Wonderland to decorate on their own. So each tree will be adopted out. Mark Childress is coordinating, and we hope this becomes a family tradition for some pretty cool looking trees. And there is a limited amount. I want to say 16, I'm not sure. But Matt and Mark are kind of walking through this, and it's going to be a neat deal. I do want to ask of the council, we've got some budget issues that we've come up against, and I would like to begin scheduling some budget work sessions. It's very unusual for us to do that, but I think it's only prudent for us at this time to go ahead and have some mid-year budget sessions, work through some things that were surprises and expenses that we're going to have to talk about, and perhaps delaying some of the things that you guys had on your minds that needed to be done on this year's list. So if you don't mind, I'll be sending out some dates, and if you guys can make a work session, that would be wonderful. And we'll have them in the evenings whenever you guys are able. We would love to have some time with you. We are going through a change at the lake. We're replacing our lake ranger, and we're going through the interviews now. And hopefully we'll end up with a really good one that's energized and ready to do the work out there. In the interim, we've got a part-time lake ranger who's kind of doing the trash pickup and collecting some of the lake, the fees that are associated with that. So bear with us as we get our new lake ranger in place. We've completed our first round of fire chief interviews. We are still accepting applications. In fact, we're going to go out and send out another burst of applications or advertisements on the new fire chief. So we should be wrapping those up in the next several weeks. So right now, things are running pretty smoothly at the fire department. The ambulances are doing well, and I say that doing well. The ambulances themselves are limping to the finish line until the new ones are delivered. The ambulance operators are doing well, okay? Did I get that right, Bake? That's
Yes.
about, okay,
Yes,
that's
sir.
better. Okay, so I noticed on the countywide Facebook page, I think Chris really likes that one. Or was it Corey? One of them, I think, helps run this thing, but in any case, I noticed today that there was a particular interest in a stoplight at Harvey Road and Strother.
Amen.
Okay, so we all agree that there needs to be a stoplight there. So I'll just refresh everyone's memory if you don't mind. We do not have control of Harvey Road. That is a state highway, and therefore the Oklahoma Department of Transportation has control of that. So we can make requests, and we have from time to time made requests that we have a stoplight there. What has happened in the past is they will send someone out, they will do a traffic study of that intersection and determine whether or not the number of wrecks is sufficient and whether the severity of those crashes warrants a signal. And to this point, they have said, no, though you have not had near enough collisions, and the collisions that you do have do not meet the threshold of severity that we would think that it needs a stoplight on one of our highways. So just in case you get asked, you guys know that, look, this is up to ODOT. We would like to have one, and the last time they came back, I think we had pretty good pressure on them. I think the last time they came back and said, look, if you guys will pay for it, about $500,000 was the cost. If you guys will pay for it, we'll consider it. And so that's where we dropped it. We didn't have an extra $500,000, and we still don't have an extra $500,000. So that's just kind of been where we're at on it. They brought up, and this is true, we did check it, but they brought up the fact that the most accidents and the most severe accidents that we have in Seminole occur at signaled intersections. So they're inferring, I guess that's my word, they didn't say this, but they're inferring that if we were to put a light there, that we would end up causing more and more severe accidents than if we left it alone. So I think we can all disagree with that. Nobody likes to spend 4 minutes waiting to get across that intersection. We do have other plans, other potential solutions that we're working on. Right now, I'm not at liberty to give you the details on it, but we are trying to get some resolution to the problem. Swimming pool committee meets at 5:30 this Thursday. We will be visiting with that committee and kind of laying out for them what information we have, and eventually they will be bringing a recommendation back to the city council. The hotel, the new hotel, the Marriott at the corner where Brahms is, has pulled the permit, so we're ready to start when they are. You'll see some of the water line has been delivered to the intersection, so we'll be beginning the boring, et cetera, on our part. I did want to give you a heads up. We didn't really have time to get it agended, but the Planning Commission had a great meeting last Tuesday, and we walked them through some of the sign ordinance and what is required of the signs in Seminole, and the fact that we do not have off-site advertising in Seminole. We really got in a pickle, and especially the planning commission really had an issue, because one of the things that Larry Minahan has done, he went out and got some really nice welcome to Seminole, home of Mike Snyder, the winningest high school football coach in Oklahoma, signs. Those signs were sponsored by businesses in Seminole. And by the definition of the ordinance that we have in place, those signs are not allowed to be inside the city limits. So, boy, the planning commission really struggled with that, and they directed me and Sharon and Brad to go back to begin to craft some language that would do something pretty obvious, which is I think we all want to honor Mike Snyder and his accomplishment without collapsing the whole concept of having billboards up and down the road. So I think we're close. We've kind of exercised it over a few times, and with these two great minds, we're going to have it all figured out hopefully soon. And if we have a special meeting, then we'll have that on your agenda to talk about new ordinance for the signs. Let's see, the only other thing, we had a weird request. Corey, do you have any more eligibility for defensive back at OU? Okay, all right, that we got checked off. Please make time to come to the employee Christmas party. As you just passed on December the 13th, this is a time where we set aside and we really pat our employees on the back for the things that they do. All the nights of working in bitter cold, trying to repair water lines, to working 3-car collisions out here and doing a dirty job that nobody would want to do. So please, if you can, make some time on that day to come and help congratulate and wish these people well. They're very deserving. That's all I've got.
I will say, and you will be entertained, because Steve does a great job of playing Let's Make a Deal with them, so that's always fun and entertaining. City Attorney.
We'll start your focus group committees on the golf cart ordinance and the animal licensing soon. We've staffed that a couple times, so we'll be setting a meeting and we'll start that process.
Okay. Ward 1, Bill Walton.
Well, the first thing I want to say is it's always great for the Christmas party for the city employees. I am deeply concerned that it happens to be on Friday the 13th this year.
Don't make any deals.
So don't make any deals. But it's appropriate that we honor our city employees, because we are blessed so much with the staff and the people we have working for us. I've been a lot of places, lived in a lot of cities, and I don't know of a one that has the quality of employees and staff we do.
Thank you. Ward 1, Larry Church.
Well, I'm excited to hear that the swimming pool is moving forward. That's great news. And about the intersection on Harvey Road, could we organize some sort of demolition derby to get the
Accidents. Don't start with David Hanson.
Okay. And other than that, I just want to reemphasize that the way to a better future for all of us is to support women and girls and to help mothers with children raise those children in healthy, happy homes. If you know of a single mother that's struggling, try to help them out. I mean, there's always a little extra that we can do to help them provide clothing and just wants for their children. So, women and girls and mothers and children. Thank you.
Ward 2, Stephanie Lambert. Okay. Ward 2, John Kramer. Ward 3, Corey Crabtree.
Sorry, I'm late.
Ward 3, Tim Popper.
I'd like to challenge my fellow council members to maybe pick up a gift. You know, we have good gifts and we have funny gifts and not so nice gifts to let's make a deal with at the Christmas party. And I think it'll be nice if we all chip in and buy a little something and get it to Mr. Saxon or Sharon or somebody to put in the pot. The more they have to give away, seem like the more fun everybody has. So I like to challenge y'all to buy a little something. Or get in your garage, what you're gonna sell in a garage sale or something. That's all, thank you.
Are you gonna throw your Cushman in there?
Ward 4, Chris Hansen. Ward 4, Dee Dee Patterson.
Well, election time is coming up, so it's time for 4 of us to step up or step down, so. This is the year I'm stepping down. I've been here for 20 years, and I think it's time I retire. I came on at 70, so do the math. So, if there's someone out there in Ward 4 that would like to have this seat, we'd love to have them come forward. Thank you.
Well, so I saved mine for last. I didn't know you were gonna do that. But, so Dee Dee, I wanna thank you personally. When I came onto the council, you were one of my mentors, and I really appreciate the fact that you took the time, to really talk and discuss issues and give me a better understanding of kind of what it's meant to be in the city council. The other thing is I've been in Shawnee for a few meetings lately, and it's interesting to hear when others recognize all the things that we have in Seminole for a town our size. You know, they always talk about the wellness center, and they just go on and on about the different things. And sometimes we forget about them, we take them for granted. It's always a nice reminder to get that, kind of get focused back on that from people that are outside of Seminole and recognize it. So, you know, I just want to kind of congratulate everybody that's had a hand in building this city, getting new projects here, the wellness center, hopefully housing soon, and just all the things that we do have, because we do have a lot of things to do here and activities and good things. So let's remember that as we move into the thankful time of the year. With that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment for the city council meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Those opposed? All right, with that, we will move into the Seminole Airport Authority. And for those of you that came in late, I won't mention any names for you, but we postponed this so we could go into executive session class. So if I could get a roll call, please, Jay.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Bill Watland.
Here.
Tim Poplar.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Hansen.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Vote quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Tim Poplar.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Seminole Airport Authority? Okay, with none, I would entertain a motion to move into executive session. Consideration and possible action to enter into executive session under Oklahoma Statute Title 25, Section 307.B.4, confidential communications between a public body and its attorney concerning a pending investigation, claim, or action.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Yes, please.
All right.